Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
How many insurance agents does it take to change a light bulb? That depends on whether the light bulb burned alone or with the whole house. Kevin, do we have a rim shot? Is there... No? Okay, well, try the veal. I'll be here all week. My daughter Sarah's looking at me like, Dad, I don't get it. Okay. Insurance is no laughing matter. My next guest is fellow Rotarian Danny O'Connell with the Benefit Resource Group. Home, health, life, planning, property, casualty, they do it all. They've been protecting families here in Dallas and around Texas since 1973. 1973, that's a long time. Danny, welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that introduction. Normally, I don't even get to the insurance sales part, and the room's cleared out. So good to have backup material now.
Exactly. So let's talk about, I guess I want to back up and talk about 1973. I think it's unusual today to see businesses that have been around that long, and especially in the insurance arena. I think trust is really what you're buying. You're buying some, there you could go online and shop any number of sites to find the cheapest deal. But in terms of just being face to face with your agent, that doesn't go out of style, does it?
No, and I tell everybody I look pretty good for 60, but I've been there about 9 years, and one of our secrets has been we're a family agency. And most people go out and they do their research online. It's a great tool. Compare, do your own research, but there's so much out there, and you don't know what you're reading, if it's dated, if it's new, who wrote it, if it's credible or not. And at the end of the day, we really do try to base everything we do around relationships and integrity, doing best for that client and sustaining a long-term relationship instead of just a transaction-based business.
And it was your father-in-law who started the business in 73?
Correct. That was Howard Crissy.
Tell me about the early days. I mean, when this company started.
Yeah, so Howard started out in the business as really with life insurance agents with Prudential. And back in the day, Prudential had an employee benefits portfolio, and Howard got involved in that and really started to grow that business back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And since I've come on, it's now been about 9 years. That's been a big focus of what I do, and really specializing now in the Affordable Care Act, because it was supposed to make it simple, but now it's even more confusing than it's ever been.
It seems like it's almost dizzying when you think about all the choices that are out there. So your company, does it work with individuals or other companies? How does your company work?
Sure, we do both. We also have a liability, commercial, personal liability person in our office there as well, another family member, Doug Harbison. But we do both, and I've really specialized in working with employers. And, everybody, they talk and they watch TV and they read things on the internet, and it's supposed to be simple. But we found our unique ability, if you will, is we really look at the total picture, and we represent more options than anybody else that does what I do. And we're kind of in a unique size, being a boutique firm here in Dallas. We've got clients and employers in Houston, Amarillo, and really even outside of Texas now, which is pretty neat for us, just being a family agency, started here in North Texas. You have, from a group employer standpoint, you have the fully insured side, which is really kind of what everybody hears about and is familiar about. But then you have these ERISA-based type plans that have been around since 1974, and those are now opening up to new markets. They're opening up to smaller employers that will now have that ability to purchase the way that a larger company has. Then they've never had these options before. And unfortunately, a lot of agencies and a lot of agents out there don't show them, aren't familiar with them, and never really provide that opportunity. And as we kind of migrate moving forward, one of the things that we are now launching is really our own portfolio of health plans. It's white labeled and be called Healthy Solutions. It'll be exclusively marketed by our firm. There are some unique characteristics about those plans that should hopefully provide lower cost solutions for your healthier employers, even your smaller employers. So we're very excited about that, and we're going to be launching that now here in the next couple months.
Danny O'Connell is my guest. He's with Benefit Resource Group here in Dallas. Your website is?
www.brg, and it's a hyphen, like a dash, TX for Texas.com.
So let's talk about healthcare, since that's on everybody's mind. And every time I go online, I'm seeing another article talking about healthcare costs continuing to skyrocket. How come the Obamacare solution didn't fix that? And we don't have to get political here on the show.
Sure.
But what are employers supposed to do?
Yeah. So that's about a 3-day conversation, but we'll try to boil it down here. Insurance costs there's a cause and effect relationship. And when you only address the net effect and increase cost on the effect through different taxes and different things and different regulations, you're not addressing the cause of the issue. And so you're only going to continue to escalate prices at an increasing rate. And I'm all for, we all agree that we need reform, we need change. This is getting out of control. It's unsustainable, but nothing was really done on the front end to help address those cost issues and drivers. So we're all still here waiting for those things to come into place. And that being said, when you look at individuals and groups, this was really supposed to provide new opportunities. And there are some new opportunities for individuals that they didn't previously have. So that part is good, and that part was needed. But when you look across the board, about 80% of the individuals and the employers out there are going to be expecting higher costs and increasing at a higher rate than they previously would before this was passed.
One of the things that I know as a small business owner, I have 12 employees, and I'm good at publicity. I'm good at marketing. We build websites. We do a lot of stuff, but I'm not an expert on insurance. Do you find that many small business owners are just kind of wrestling? They're spending too much time on something that is not in their wheelhouse?
There's a spectrum, and you look at some employers are more informed and they're doing more of their homework up front, which is great. Some people, kind of still do the head in the sand. I've done this for 40 years. I know how it is. It's all the same, even though it's changed so much. But it is important in any decision that you do, especially for your business. You seek guidance and counsel from somebody who's really an expert in that. And when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, you don't want somebody that just kind of does it. And I talk to a lot of people. Well, I talked to my CPA, I talked to my attorney, and I talked to this and that. Don't ask me to do your open heart surgery.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. But what I can do is sit down and come up with some solutions for you to this question of the Affordable Care Act. And when we sit down and at the end of the day with employers, they're stunned at what we can actually do for them and the savings that we can produce versus what their expectation was or what they were told, by other people or other sources out there.
Well, one of the things that impresses me about you is that I know you're a fellow Rotarian. In fact, you're the president of a local club here in Dallas. Let's go ahead and give a shout out because you were up early helping the community.
We were, yeah. The Dallas Trinity Rotary Group, a great group. We meet every Monday at noon down in the Infomart Center. And this morning we were up early, 8 a.m., handing out some school supplies to children down in South Dallas. And we wound up helping several hundred children. So that was a great opportunity just to be in the community, giving back. We do so many things in our lives and so many great associations that everybody's a part of, but I really believe it's important to still find time to give back to individuals and just do something to be doing some good things in the community.
And character, I think, is a huge part of who you want to do business with today. Anytime I run into a Rotarian, part of the creed is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? In terms of like living your life and walking your talk, is that something that you take into consideration every single day running a business? You certainly try to. I find that honestly, we're in the trust business. Nobody's going to go through all those manuals. Nobody's going to read all that stuff. So they find somebody like you that they know stands for something, and you just trust this guy's not going to sell me more than I need, or he's really working in my best interest. At least I'm speaking for myself. I truly don't believe you can have a business that's been around since 1973 by not doing the right thing for the client. Am I right? I would agree. It's just like what Brian said in the previous segment. You always have to be innovating, adapting, changing, looking for solutions, staying educated, sharpening the axe, whatever you want to call it. But your clients deserve that. And if you're really going to deliver your best and that promise to your clients, you as an individual have to be continuously improving yourself for the people that you serve. Danny, give me your website one more time.
Sure. That is brg-tx.com.
Thank you very much, Danny. I appreciate you being on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
All right, coming up next, we normally think about stress as it relates to adults, those carefree childhood days that many of us remember. That just may not be true for today's kids. The answer is just ahead on the Jeff Crilley Show.